What is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm back after a short break, and today I am on the ANALOG HEAT 2. I wanted to do some more videos about this. I wanted to show you some sample processing. I've been using this a lot for the end of the chain kind of mastering. I really like it for that. It's a nice tactile device for that. But today I want to mix things up a bit and actually process some drum loops from it. So I've built 3 drum loops here, and they're all from my brand new pack, which is my Christmas Drums Volume 1 pack. This is a limited time only availability. It's only going to be available for December, so if you want to support what I'm doing here guys, it's the usual stuff with the drums, and there's some Christmas sprinkles in there as well. I use the ANALOG HEAT to process all the drum sounds, so that's why I kind of wanted to get it out again and do a video, because I've been using this a fair amount at the moment. So I'm using the SP404 Mark II here, but this is essentially a very overpowered WAV player. I've got 3 drum loops loaded in on 1, 2 and 3, and I'm going to show you some different drum loops that I've built and some different effects on here. So we're going to start off with Clean Boost. Now Clean Boost is a very nice mastering effect. I use that a lot. You can see it's lit up here. You can change these by using this wheel and go through different circuits. I'm going to start with Clean Boost, and with these effect names, I mean, they really are kind of what it says on the tin. This will give you a nice clean boost in the sound and the volume. I also think it adds a bit of punch as well. That's why I added them on the drum samples in the pack which I'm using, and that's why I'm going to add it on this loop to start off with as well. So the first loop that I'm going to show you is a kind of straight up boom bap style one, and I'm going to use Clean Boost. And one thing that I want to note before I start going into this is that the equalizer over here, so this low and high, they're tailored to each individual circuit, so they won't have exactly the same effect on each circuit when you're using them. They're tailored in to get the best possible sound out of that circuit. So I always experiment with them, but you get slightly different vibes depending on what circuit you're on. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm not going to say anything while this is playing, and I'm just going to play around the parameters, and you can hear the differences that this circuit makes. Okay, you could see there was a lot of playing around that needed to be done, and that is essentially the case with most of the circuits that you're using on this, and just the way you use it in general. There is a lot of tweaking trying to get that perfect sound. I'd probably actually spend a lot longer with that if I wasn't recording a video, but I kind of got it to a nice place there, which I was happy with. So Clean Boost, I kind of messed around with the drive. If you started going right to the sort of full level on drive, I was getting a bit of distortion, so I backed that off, played around the wet level and the mixture between the dry and wet, choosing between how much dry and wet signal you want. That's what makes this so powerful, I think. So you can just use the wet and dry to get the right blend that you want. And then over here, basically I'm just playing around with the equalizer and the frequency. This is just a high pass filter that I've got on here, so I'm kind of choosing between those 3 dials and trying to get the best possible sound that I can out of those 3. I don't tend to use resonance too much. It adds this kind of weird metallic hip on the waveform. You can see that here. For the low pass filter, that doesn't add what I want it to add, so I usually turn that just to 0 so that it isn't affecting the signal. So that was Clean Boost. Pretty nice on those drums, and like I've already mentioned as well, it's amazing on the master signal using that. I really like it. Okay, so let's go up quite a lot here, and basically when you're going around this dial, the more you go around it, the rougher they get. I'm going to go straight up to rough crunch and use a different loop on this. This is a 78 BPM loop, and we're going to turn it off. I'll show you the example first, and then I'll get into this and show you how this can make the drum loop sound. Okay, after a little bit of fiddling around there, that was giving it a really, really nice crunch. Obviously the name there, that's telling you exactly what it does, but I think this circuit is really, really nice for crunching up drums like this. I know it's called rough crunch, but it seems like this circuit is designed for this purpose because it just kind of adds the right amount of grit. And you could see there, again, with the combinations of dials that I was messing around with, I got that honed in, and by the end of it, it was giving us a really, really nice flavoursome loop. So you don't have to have this unit doing loads and loads of distortion. I'd usually use quite clean mixes. I tend to use clean boost the most, but you can tailor these so much that it's just a little bit of grit, just a little bit of dirt. And I think with that particular example that we just did there, that proves how, I say powerful, I'm not really adding that much power, but the fact that it gives you so many options with the sound, that's what makes it so powerful as a unit. Okay, we've got one final example, and I'm going to go right up to high gain with this one. I just want to show you how far this thing can go. It's probably not going to be the best sound for this loop, but I just want to show you what this can sound like with this. And then I'll probably actually do some clean boost or maybe some saturation on this loop just to try and make it a usable example, because I actually really like this loop. And by the way, these loops are all included in the pack as well, so if you want to play around with these, you can do that once you've downloaded the pack from my shop. This one is 80 BPM, and let's give it a go and see what we can make it sound like. So you can go ahead and make that sound so crazy. It's such a powerful circuit, that one. But I'm going to dial it back a bit, make it a bit more usable. There you go, you can just add that little bit of crunch, and that sounds really, really nice. Let's just quickly flip this over and go to clean boost again, or maybe we'll try saturation, just so I can show you this loop kind of in a more usable way. Some of you may like to use it like that with the really high gain on it, but I tend to go for a cleaner mix like I was saying before, so let's try this. And there we go again, pretty transformative. That really just adds a nice boost, a nice texture. And yeah, just overall this unit is absolutely incredible for this kind of application. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that showed you a little bit more of what the Analog Heat can do. I know this is an expensive piece of gear and a lot of people kind of dismiss it because of that, but it's so powerful. I mean, you could see just with those 3 loops, which are all pretty clean, you can make them sound so crunchy, so raw. You have so much control over it with this unit, so it's great for processing samples, especially drum loops, I think, as well. Maybe I'll do another video in the future where I actually process samples, melodic samples. That would be fun. And yeah, as well as that, obviously it can be used as a complete master effects unit as well. That would be how I kind of approach processing samples with it. Like I've mentioned a few times about this device, I love the tactile feel, I love playing with the dials and honing them in and getting that sound right. It's really, really fun. Appreciate you all watching, guys. Big shout out to my members as well. There's a couple of new members coming in at the moment, so shout out to you guys for joining up. Don't forget about that Christmas pack that's in my shop for December only. I'd appreciate it if you could go and get that. And yeah, apart from that, I'll see you all again in another video very, very soon.